Hi, welcome to our channel True Up. The once greatness and majesty of the United States were destroyed by a pandemic that spanned the globe, two extremely untrustworthy leaders, and a two-pronged strategy. The United States has also put a lot of work into making itself the beacon of democracy once more. Semiconductors are without a doubt the worldwide development trend at the moment. You can think that the pace of progress is too sluggish and that it is hard for the rest of the world to feel the warmth of the beacon of democracy, especially in light of the current worldwide scarcity of cores. Therefore, the United States has a variety of ruses to demand that global semiconductor businesses turn up essential business information under the pretext of easing the chip crisis. The US has requested key data sharing from South Korean semiconductor businesses once more. Many important overseas media have talked about whether my country's TSMC will also be required by the United States since it has been deploying American factories. It is certain that TSMC will travel to the US to establish a facility. Will the current TSMC compromise once again if it truly faces the same scenario as a Korean company? Core technology must be shared by Korean businesses. When people talk about South Korea, kimchi and oppa frequently come to mind. In reality, South Korea is home to a number of other well-known industries, including the country's top-ranked shipbuilding industry, battery industry, and automobile industry. As a result, the US is interested in South Korea's beneficial industries. According to a source on the internet, the United States demanded on March 28 that well-known Korean battery manufacturers give essential technological secrets when constructing plants in the country. In particular, LG New Energy is getting ready to open 3 plants in the US and form a joint venture to produce batteries with General Motors of the US. However, GM of the United States specifically sought the important experimental data relating to the battery output, which is directly tied to the stability, in order to affirm the safety of the battery. Additionally, when discussing a battery joint venture agreement with Ford Motor of the United States, South Korea's SK On asked for the ability to share the essential technology relating to battery density. The Industrial Technology Protection Law of South Korea has categorized this technology as being difficult to exchange, according to SK On during the negotiation process. Essential technology for the nation. I must admit that South Korea has done a superb job of safeguarding its own technological advancements. However, it doesn't appear that the Ford firm in America believes it. It insists on using SK On's core technology and even visited the Korean Ministry of Industry, Resources, and Trade to confirm the accuracy of SK On's claim. There is in fact a legal foundation. This makes it clear that the United States won't let up until it obtains the vital information and data of the companies that established factories there. An irrational action can be carried out in such a morally pure and honorable way that it merits being a symbol of democracy. Currently, South Korean businesses must provide essential technological data to the US. Future foreign-funded businesses operating in the US, like TSMC, which is still constructing American manufacturing, may or may not be subjected to similar treatment. Although TSMC said on February 15 that the facility in Phoenix, Arizona, would be delayed for 6 months, it did not advise giving up. Consequently, a huge amount of pertinent international media have said that TSMC will suffer. Is it indeed the case then? Does TSMC have to resubmit core technologies after submitting important data? The claims made by those associated international media are actually pretty believable. First off, semiconductors are significantly more important than batteries. Today, the US even forbids the key technological information of foreign battery businesses. What more can they let go of? What information, namely the TSMC Global Foundry Company's core data, is more crucial? The United States issued an ultimatum on November 8 of last year, ordering businesses that had not yet provided their key business data to do so as soon as feasible. Do you still recall the TSMC reaction from back then? The United States received some data from TSMC on November 5, but the data did not identify any individual customers, according to TSMC. It is clear from this that TSMC has not actually supplied all the information, and even the information it conceals may be more significant than the information provided to the United States. Will the US just discard this information? It's impossible since the US won't even release battery statistics. The current worldwide foundry juggernaut is TSMC. The United States is not comfortable, though, as TSMC is not an American corporation. Is there any proof? There is, in fact. The US government was encouraged on March 28 by TSMC and Samsung to permit foreign firms to take part in its $52 billion semiconductor investment and subsidy program. This demonstrates that TSMC has not yet received a dime of the chip subsidies that the US government promised. So why? Perhaps as a result of Henry Kissinger, the CEO of Intel, saying that only US firms should receive funding from taxpayers. We have no way of knowing if the US concurs or not, but based on the fact that TSMC isn't receiving any money, the US should be. This also indicates that the US does not want TSMC to expand, therefore, how can the US allow TSMC to fail? In conclusion, it is expected that the TSMC will continue to show the position of Korean battery firms. Will TSMC compromise, then? The United States should probably make a concession if it genuinely wants TSMC to turn over its fundamental technology. Why can TSMC grow into a powerhouse global semiconductor foundry? One is due to the advanced process chips being developed by TSMC, and the other is because the company has the largest ASML EUV lithography equipment in the world. In other words, TSMC can only make concessions because it now lacks the means to reduce its reliance on American technology. According to what I understand, TSMC's total revenue in 2021 would be close to 354.9 billion yuan, an increase of 18.5% over the previous year. American businesses account for 64% of TSMC's impressive revenue performance. As can be seen from this, TSMC places a high value on its American clients. It's possible that TSMC won't dare to anger such a significant American customer. Therefore, TSMC, which is based in the United States, is likely to compromise if the United States genuinely applies the strategies it has employed against South Korean corporations to TSMC once more. Simply put, Korean battery businesses must provide essential technical data when they travel to the United States to establish plants. In actuality, the TSMC may not accept the same approach. TSMC has already had experience sharing fundamental data, and it has already been to the US to construct a factory. It is difficult to predict at this moment if this will occur, and if it does, whether TSMC would compromise or not. It will take time to establish this. Thanks for watching our video. We would appreciate it if you subscribed our channel and gave us a thumb. See you.